continue here tonight on Roland Grimes, not just sports entertainment show, Roland Grimes Show Live. Once again, I'm your host, Roland Bubba Grimes, taping here at the Everlasting Life restaurant in Capitol Heights, Maryland. I want to introduce someone who's joined me right now with Mr. Bobby Henry. And thank you, my brother. Appreciate the water. And we're also going to have a few other educators join us shortly. But I want to give you a few quick commercials right now. One of our panelists is Ms. Colette Coley-Williams, who is having a launch party for her video release. She is an extraordinary vocalist, and she'll be doing her launch party here on May 17th. At Everlasting Life. And also, when you have a chance to go to GrimesNation.com, our website, you'll see the brand new Grimes list, where we give an opportunity for businesses and services to list themselves very, very inexpensively so we can promote them as we go along. You may also see some of these products here in front of me. You see the real-time pain relief and the secret sea salt body scrubs and lotions. We're going to use some of these to help raise funds for different programs, schools, and some of the folks out there who need to raise funds for their particular projects. Speaking of projects, I have with me a quintessential project manager who also is involved with grant management, has done work with Prince, and continues to do work with Prince George's Community College here in Prince George's County, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to some and introduce to others my good friend, Miss Cecelia Knox. Cecelia, so glad to join us. It's been a few years since I last saw you.
True.
And I know that you've been doing some work at Prince George's Community College, but you have a strong background. You've done work in East Africa, you've done work at the grassroots level. Tell us, what has happened in your lifetime that made you decide to get into this career of, what you have a master's in counseling psychology as well?
Right.
What has happened in your past that made you decide to devote yourself to this journey in education?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a thing that happened to me in my past. It probably was more my family. I come from a family of educators. My mother's an educator from DC Public Schools.
Really?
So I think it was more the exposure that happened in my life, more so than any event. So it really comes out of a place of understanding that knowledge, it's something you always control how much you know and of what, you know. So it comes from that place. And I think that and I got my master's degree in counseling psychology thinking that I wanted to be a therapist. And then what happened was I started to do therapy with families and children, and I realized that there's more to this than the back end of a crisis. There is the front end of the crisis. So that's what led me into community organizing and youth development and doing other kind of educational work.
Now, the work that you're doing now, do you have a chance to deal more with the students now, or you deal more with faculty and extended stakeholders in the community?
More with stakeholders. So my work has transitioned from having more direct service and hands-on to more administration, policy development, organizing, so on.
Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, and I chased you down just to get you on my show, because from an administrative standpoint, administrative level, those operations are a lot different than what one finds in the classroom. And as a result of that, sometimes there's a disconnect, or it appears to be a disconnect, between what happens in administration and what happens in the classroom. What kinds of things have you been involved in so that the administrators, the faculty, educators, coaches can communicate with each other well enough to benefit the entire student body?
I think it's almost a misnomer to believe that there is an intrinsic disconnect.
Okay.
I think that disconnects occur when there's not good leadership, and Principal Gill was just an excellent example of what good leadership can do to an educational system, and I just would like to thank her for that excellent presentation. But again, even at Prince George's Community College, we have an excellent leader. So Dr. Charlene Dukes does an amazing job of making sure that all of the tentacles come together to produce a great product for our students and for the entire community. So I believe that those kinds of disconnects are not intrinsic in education. Okay. I believe that they happen because of the leadership.
You know, that's interesting, Bob. I'm going to have you jump in on this real quick, because student athlete. I played college ball at Syracuse University, and I went to Bishop McNamara High School. And there appears to me to be an institutional disconnect between the academic environment and the athletic environment. And I kind of thought the same thing is just between administration and let's say the frontline service, but Cecilia's telling me that it's really more a reflection of the leadership. However, when you deal in education and you come from this area where athletics is huge, do you feel that there is too much of an emphasis in this community on athletics and less on academics, or is that just a misperception that I might have?
Well, there are some in our community that believe that athletics is the only way out of a difficult situation.
The only way up and out.
Absolutely. Right. And if you're truthful, a lot of the times that's the case. However,
it's a small percentage.
Yeah, but however, education will take you places that your athletic ability could never take you. Your education, because your ability to perform at that level will only last for so long. I'm not talking about money and economics. You can make
become a lifespan.
Absolutely. And the quality of your life. The amount of money that you make does not necessarily relate to the quality of your life. Now, with regards to, playing up athletics more so than education, unfortunately that
some of that's driven by mass media.
It absolutely is, but we have the responsibility to make sure that our young people take an education with them. I think Principal Gill talked very eloquently about the students and their academic achievements. Right. Now, what we also have to make sure of is that others don't come into our community and rob our young children for their athletic abilities without exchanging.
No, that's not called robbing, it's called pimping.
Well,
I'm just letting you know. But I know you can't say that, but since I'm here and I can, our communities have been extorted over the years for our athletic ability. And nothing has been put back into the communities to replace that, because the NCAA makes it against its own rules to invest back in the communities that they take us out of.
Well, we have to watch it, and we have to keep our eye on our young people. Because number one, just a few years ago, we had the Player of the Year. He was a 2-time Player of the Year in our area in basketball. He could not attend a D1 school because of his athletics. How is it?
Because of his academics.
Because of his academics. How is it that you can progress through the high school athletic program, rise up to be the 2-time Athlete of the Year in the DMV area? That's a phenomenal athletic feat. How is it that there isn't someone around to make sure that your academics is keeping up with your athletics?
That's interesting, because I hear the audience, saying that's right. I'm going to defer this to you, Cecelia, quickly, because I noticed that over the years, the community college institutional program model has gained a lot of energy and a lot of strength over the years. When I came out, community college we kind of figured it was a glorified middle school. Mm-hmm. And of course, because of the inability to compete athletically at that level, it eliminated, or basically didn't look very attractive to a bunch of us coming out. But I see now the community colleges across the country are starting to really become a beacon in their communities. What are some of the reasons why this shift has occurred over the last decade and a half?
Well, first of all, we need to be more educated about how to make economic choices that are sound. And so some of us get so focused on sending a young person out of the home and into a 4-year institution with reckless disregard to what kind of financial impact that's going to have on the family, when you could really send a young person to the community college for 2 years, save that money, you're in in-state tuition, and then use that money. Then we, at Prince George's Community College, we have articulation programs and agreements with most colleges and universities. So you're going to take every single credit that you earn at Prince George's Community College to somewhere else.
Right.
So then you could do that last 2 years and then spend your money.
Gotcha.
So it's, in many ways, it's the most economically sound choice that a family can make. The other thing is that what we know is that the K through 12 educational system has underserved our students. And so sending them off to the university is why we see so much bounce back.
Right.
So they're coming right back home and they're not wanting to go back into the university because they were not ready. And so the other issue now is that our communities have failed to properly educate young people about what it means to live outside of your community, intermingle with persons from other communities and other cultures. And so when they get onto a university campus outside of their community, outside of the state, they're not prepared. They're not prepared.
They drown, yeah.
So it's a sound decision for many families, and I think that we're now understanding the value.
Okay, so folks, this is wonderful. We're going to take a quick station break. My man Bobby Henry, I want to shake your hand, and actually I'd like for you to stick around a little bit longer if you can, because we're going to end with some commentary with you. Folks, I want you to prepare yourselves. Ms. Catherine Trotter is going to join us in a few seconds. Sit tight, Roland Grimes, not just sports and entertainment show, Roland Grimes Show Live. Sit tight.